Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back for another BoshNRoll Legacy video. Today, at the request of Patreon subscriber Matt, I've been tasked to play a cool deck with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Matt actually reached out quite some time ago, back when this card was new and hot, and it's not new, but it's still hot. Every time I play this card, it melts my brain a little bit. And at the time, it was sort of in a Painter shell, and then it was in an Emery shell, and I did play some versions of that with like Urza on the channel. But I looked for a more recent example, now that we are here living in the present time, and found that Magic Online user KRAKEN has been putting up a couple of trophies recently with this Boros Gyruda Bomber Depths deck. And oh boy, is this my type of shit. Let's look at the various things this deck does. First of all, Agatha's Soul Cauldron. This is why we're here. This is what Matt wanted to see. You can spend mana if it were any color to activate abilities of your creatures. Creatures with +1/+1 counters on them have all activated abilities of all creature cards exiled with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Tap, exile target card from a graveyard. When a creature is exiled this way, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. That's a lot of words. The first combo we're going to talk about here is Phyrexian Devourer. This has the activated ability of exile the top card of your library, put X +1 counters on Devourer, where X is that card's mana value. Phyrexian Devourer also has a triggered ability of when Devourer's power is 7 or greater, sacrifice it. However, if you were to exile this card with Agatha's Soul Cauldron, it only copies the activated ability, which is the exile your top card to pump this, not the if it's too big, sack it. Which means any creature with a +1 counter on it, when Devourer is under the Cauldron, oh my goodness, under the Cauldron, can exile cards off the top of their deck until it's huge. So any unblocked creature, if you have Phyrexian Devourer in your graveyard and an untapped Agatha's Soul Cauldron, any unblocked creature is lethal. Because whatever they block, you just put a counter on the other one and then start exiling cards until your opponent takes their life total worth of damage. That's the easy one. But then, also, Walking Ballista. If this gains the ability to pile counters on it off the top of your deck, it also has the ability to ping your opponent when it has a counter on it. Ballista is a great thing to gain the abilities of Phyrexian Devourer. Also, if Ballista and Devourer are both under Agatha's Soul Cauldron, then any creature with a +1 counter can do the exile your deck and then throw it at your opponent thing. But wait, there's more. There's also a Bomberman deck, which is the old school nickname of the Auriok Salvagers combo. This combo is 1 and a white, return target artifact card with mana value 1 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Lion's Eye Diamond is an artifact that fits that description and makes 3 mana. You can make 2 mana, or you can make 3, pay 2, get back the diamond, now you have infinite mana. And then you can do that, use that to do something like return this artifact that cost 1 or less from your graveyard to your hand, Walking Ballista, and then X is infinite, ping your opponent out. And then layers on top of that, Agatha's Soul Cauldron can exile Auriok Salvagers, making any of your creatures into a Bomberman. And that's why Gyruda is the companion here. This is not a meme just because we can. It's actually a serious mana outlet when you have Salvagers combo going. It gives you a bunch of hits to try to spike a Ballista or something that keeps the combo going, if you can get your infinite mana but you don't actually have anything to do with it yet. Then we're also just a big mana artifact deck. Here's 4 Karns, because why the hell not? Here they are. Look out for those. And then Ingenious Smith is card advantage, card selection, also gets bigger, puts +1 counters on itself naturally, so it just picks up the abilities of an Agatha's Soul Cauldron without having to be targeted. Crater Maker is interaction that also is built on activated abilities in case we need to destroy other stuff. Goblin Engineer puts the Phyrexian Devourer or the Walking Ballista directly to the graveyard, also happens to have activated abilities. And, of course, Urza's Saga, just tucked here in the mana base. We could do that, too. And Saga can also tutor Lion's Eye Diamond, in case we want to pivot into a combo. I love everything that's going on with this deck. And if there's too many moving pieces, and your opponent has a highly interactive deck or doing something to mess with you, 4Ks of Chaos Adventure in the sideboard, blammo. Just jam one of these on turn 2 and watch your opponent melt into goo. This is exciting. I'm excited to play this. Let's jump into it. This is Matt's Boros Bomberman from Magic Online user KRAKEN. I'm on the draw in round 1. I've revealed my Gyruda, which is just a delight to be doing that again. I have a turn 2 Karn. This hand might suck or it might be great depending on the matchup, but I'm going to run it. A Bayou and a Noble Hierarch. Interesting. Do I expect Wasteland out of this strategy? Do I care if they do? I do care if they do. Yeah, Lotus Petal is my follow-up, so I don't actually need to be worried about colors yet. I've Ensnaring Bridge, Walking Ballista in the sideboard. Ensnaring Bridge does not work against this army of 0/1s. Just pointing that out there. This is Cradle Control, by the way, the pseudo-elves, whatever we're calling this these days deck. And I might just be dead. If they Zenith for Collector Oof here, I'm actually in some large amount of trouble. Oh, Fiend Artisan, cool. That might also just kill me, but at least they aren't on the read that I'm an artifact deck just yet. But if I play Karn and plus him, I don't think getting LED does anything. I could play Karn plus it, hope I'm alive next turn. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Alright, yeah, I'm just going to shove Karn into play. They're not going to counter it. They can challenge it in combat. They also have 7 mana just face up to Fiend Artisan with. Right, Karn plus target nothing. They have the second Cradle. I'm just getting hoofed here. That's fine. Okay, this is not a matchup where Karn was good, and we just walked directly into their nut draw on the draw, so that's fine. We got beat. They untapped all their mana. They came up with a better plan than just shoving a gigantic monster into play. Fiend Artisan. They must have drawn this Artisan this turn. I don't think they would have used their Zenith last turn if they had this available. There's the Crater Hoof and 10. Yep, exactly. Oh, they had 1 extra point there. Okay, get wrecked me. Goblin Crater Maker is interaction with elves. It also kills Collector Oof, which is important to this matchup. Chalice of the Void is good unless they have a Shepherd, then it's horrendous. Probably do want, maybe not 4, but some number of those in here. And I think I'm going to cut a Soul Cauldron, because this is a legendary permanent, and they're a combo deck, I'm a combo deck. I don't know if we're going to be even playing that long of a game going in like this, just +2 Crater Makers. And now I know the matchup, I can mulligan better. Once again, the Phyrexian Devourer's in my opening grip. Unlike last time, though, I have double Walking Ballista here, which is one of the better cards available in the matchup. I am going to keep this. If they start on Elvish Reclaimer, I'll be a little bummed. But if they start on a Hierarch or Shepherd of any variety, I'll be sitting pretty. Here we go, moment of truth. Once upon a time, show me a Hierarch. Elvish Reclaimer revealed off the thing. Great. Just how he drew it up. It's alright, we're still ticking towards inevitability here. Rustvale Bridge. The bridge is actually kind of fine here. Because if I Mox Opal, or no, yeah, if I LED Opal, alright, yeah, I can get where I need to go here, which is Ballista on 1. Just had to make sure I could actually achieve Metalcraft. In Force of Vigor, Shadow roams me here, but I think that's always going to be true about this deck, unless you're on the initiative strat, which I'm not. I actually can just fire Gyruda next turn, if I think that's worth doing. Alright, Force of Vigor. Get wrecked me. Ping my opponent. They exiled Grist to do that. I'm kind of stoked that they took out the Ballista instead of one of the mana sources, actually. Oh, that's why they did it. Still gonna kill that shit. If I draw Agatha's Soul Cauldron, I'm 1 mana short of winning the game this turn, but I do have a setup line that can win the game in short order. A 3rd Walking Ballista. I was pretty happy with the first 2. You can imagine my delight about this one. I'm just going to kill the Hierarch right now before it does anything. Now I have Saga cranking. They decided to play Hierarch last turn instead of activate Reclaimer. That's good news. This is the turn they could Zenith for Collector Oof, which is disappointing if true. They've got a 3/4 beater. Do you want that, or do you want your tutor up? The Juka Bog is also meaningfully disruptive to my life here. Genius Smith, okay. I think I like that. She's a genius. Trust her. Put her into play. Found an LED. Okay. I'll play that, and that'll pump the Smith. I can Gyruda next turn. I would prefer to draw a Karn or a Bomber or win the game in some other coherent way, though. They got the Cradle, which taps for the same amount of mana as that Forest does at current. It escalates quickly. That's how Cradles work. Lair of the Hydra. The old turn 4 tapped Lair of the Hydra. Good shit. Yeah, the Reclaimer is attacking. This is great. That means I'm not going to get Bajuka bogged this turn. At least not from the Reclaimer. That might mean they're holding up something else, though. Oh, Karn. That wins the game if it works. Okay. Float. Float. Because I have to get the other Opal for this to work. I guess I could have gotten a Petal. It's largely the same thing. Karn. Let's see. I can just Lattice right now. Just send it. They are bigger than me in combat. Oh, Lattice doesn't even work right now, actually. Shit. I could get... Oh, does Soul Cauldron win the game right now? We're pretty close. Okay, I'm gonna make red. I think it's largely agnostic here. Then wish for the Soul Cauldron that I boarded out, because I'm very smart, and I did that on purpose. Soul Cauldron. There it is. They're currently tapped out of Graveyard Hate. Is this going to be enough? I could attack first and see what level they're on. Yeah, none of these lines require mana. Yeah, I might be able to just kill their whole board here. Alright, they didn't block. I'll try to Devour. Maybe this is greedy, but I think it's pretty good. Just going to start spamming damage into their face hole. They can either have a removal spell or not here. They do get to see some cards out of my deck. 16. That's enough if you don't have anything. And we did it. Nothing like killing an opponent with onboard tricks. Okay, they're not going to fall for that again. I fell for that too. If you think I'm being harsh on my opponent, trust me. I did the same shit the first time I played against this. Alright, I think the deck's still the deck. The initiative pivot doesn't make any sense against the dedicated creature strategy. They don't really use their graveyard. It affects the size of Fiend Artisan and Elvish Reclaimer, but I think that's like not enough to bring in Leyline for. No thanks. Okay, first appearance of Chalice of the Void. Unfortunately, I'm on the draw, where they may or may not care about this at all. I am going to keep this, though. This is a fast Karn, and now if they had any doubt about being her prioritizing Collector Oof, they're going to do it. They kept a 6 with Once Upon a Time, so they kept a 5.5, and they found Basic Forest and Ignoble Hierarch, the thing that I would have loved to put Chalice of the Void in front of. Let's see if we could get any traction on this. I mean, I guess I Ballista it now, if that's the vibe. Which obnoxious X mana artifact, XX mana artifact am I leading on? It's this one. Kill the Hierarch. They got 4 cards in their hand. A Shep. I'm glad I didn't try to Chalice them. Alright, they got a bunch of shit still. Still a pretty good turn 2 after negating their turn 1 play. I can Lattice them next turn. Or I could try to get Engineer happening now. I'm going to look on my sideboard and then also think a little bit. So if I play Engineer now, I can Entomb the Devourer, but Karn Make a Wish is for a Cauldron, for Cauldron is a 6 mana line next turn. I could just Karn plus and hope Karn is still in play for a Walking Ballista to Wrath them next turn. I think that's the play. They have 2 cards in their hand and a bunch of mana. They might just natural order me into crap here or something, but I'm gonna try to set up a situation where if they spend another turn developing, I'm gonna roast them. But if they win right now, then they win right now. A 1-drop is free under Cradle. They can natural order for 7 or 8, 9, 10, 11. Force of Vigor, targeting... What? Did they misclick? There's no targets for that. I bet there's a natural order in their hand that they just clicked on the wrong 4-drop for. That's awkward. Okay. Don't know what to do with that information, except kill all their creatures now. Whoopsie. And they did attack Karn. Ooh, I drew the Salvagers. I can just win instead. Yeah, if I wish for LED and then just fire it. Okay. I'm going to do the combo then. If it's available to me, I will take it. Lion's Eye Diamond. Float 2. Cavern of Souls on human. White, 1/2, salvagers. Okay, let's see if they are willing to concede or if I have to play it out. I mean, it's fine. I registered the deck knowing that this could happen, but the infinite damage is just face up on board right now. In real life, I would simply declare infinite mana, you're dead. But don't worry, through the magic of editing, you won't have to watch me do all of this. I'll bring you back when my opponent's dead. Okay, after 13 mana's worth of clicking, maybe they realized what I was up to with the Ballista, or maybe they realized the time on this earth is worth more than making me click through that. But either way, cool. I was content to just mow down all their creatures, but spiking the combo is always great. And of course, I don't know what this Force of Vigor was. Awkward, but off we go. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in round 2. I have a turn 1 engineer if I don't want salvagers to be castable through the cavern. I don't think I need to be that aggressive. I am going to keep the hand though. It does slowly but surely get me where I want to go. I could also Soul Cauldron, engineer, just put them in check on turn 1. Basically, the decision is how aggressive I want to be right now. I think just sending it on turn 1 kind of rules. Soul Cauldron. And if they force this, I'll just get them later. Soul Cauldron is also just like half of an unlicensed hearse as well. If they're randomly Reanimator here, I might have just gotten them a different way. They do seem to be thinking really hard about this, though. It resolved. I'm just going to play the Goblin here and put Devourer in my graveyard. They're on notice. They did have a Force of Will the whole time. Pitching Predict. Okay. Now I actually do need to find a white source. Oh, sick. Or I said white source. I meant artifact. But that Wasteland actually takes a lot of pressure off, because now I can just make my land drop. Play this Ancient Tomb. Keep the Cavern of Souls back. I suspect they're blue-red Delver. They have Predict and Wasteland in their deck. Not many things do that. Oh, I should be tagging their graveyard. That's just kind of free. Whoops. Alright, Cavern on human, and then I'll play this Walking Ballista, which turns on the Opal for next turn. Yeah, I should have exiled their Force of Will with my Cauldron. That was completely free to do. I was just busy narrating. Tighten up. They fetched red in the end step. I would not be surprised to see a removal spell. Yep. And I'm just gonna donk them here. Not gonna try to do anything cute with the Cauldron. If they play a fetch land, I'll eat a card out of their graveyard in response to the fetch, just to make sure they don't Murktide, though I am a turn behind on that development than where I'd like to be. I don't need to exile in response to this fetch land because Murktide can't be cast with the things that they have. Exile this Lightning Bolt. And I'd love a mana source that casts Salvagers right now. Sick. The nuts. Salvagers is in play now. Cannot be stopped. And I can exile this Walking Ballista. My Opal is not on, unfortunately. So I am just chilling here for a moment. Yeah, I don't actually have white to get this Salvager started, but now if I draw an LED or anything that can put LED into my graveyard, we just go. There's the Merc. It left behind Delver, which I think is a spew, because I can exile Delver to get +1 counters on my creatures now. Oh, Devourer. I cannot actually get that into my graveyard from my current position. Yeah, I don't even have a white to pick up Lotus Petal and try to go next turn. That's really sad. Funny and sad. Old 6-drop. I'll put Gyruda in my hand, though. That's kind of free to do. I don't have a good attack here. I am going to exile their Delver before they can do anything with it. That makes my Salvagers thicker. And the great thing about Phyrexian Devourer is that if they counter it, it goes to the graveyard, which is where I want it. If it resolves, I just activate it until it dies, and then I exile it. Alright, come on, mana source or artifact that turns on Mox Opal. Hey, yo. Okay. Plateau. Float mana. Phyrexian Devourer on the stack. Their hand has to be like 3 lightning bolts to win the game here. I guess 2 lightning bolts would do it because they could just kill salvagers. And then my Devourers are shit. Brick. They are taking their sweet time reading this thing. I wonder if they have days and they're like, wait, is it better for this to be in play or dead? Something's happening. Ooh, Stern Dismissal's actually shitty. Okay. I will deal 1 damage to my opponent. And then I'll return Salvagers to my hand, because I don't have a choice. And then Phyrexian Devourer resolves. And I have to pass the turn and go to 4 here. And now I don't have a lethal combat threat. That was actually really good. Just trusty old unsummon, causing problems. Oh wait, I can put a counter on Phyrexian Devourer, and I can dance around the mana costs in my deck. Or I can just resolve Salvagers next turn. If I use my Ancient Tomb, I end up at 2 life. Okay, they're heating my Devourer, which... Isn't that just admitting death? Wait, I can respond to its trigger. I can just win here. Okay, never mind. I'm just going to exile cards from my deck. Alright, that's a 5/5 now. And exile Goblin Engineer. Oh, I don't even need to do this, because it already has its own counters. Yeah, this just kills them, doesn't it? Did I backdoor into a combo that I forgot was in my deck? 1 to you. Yeah, I think that in my head I was thinking that the sacrifice is somehow a static ability, which is just not even how cards work. Like, state-based actions aren't just printed on cards like that, it's a trigger. And I can respond to the trigger by going off. Alright, you see what's going on? Because I do. Took me a minute, but I figured it out. Might as well play it out, though, because you get to see cards in my deck and maybe I mess up. There is a Phyrexian Devourer dies trigger underneath everything else here, but they're dead. It's fine. Exiling a bunch of zeros. The deck basically has like 0s, 4s, and 6s in it. You miss for a while, and then you just have a million counters. Just exiling land after land here. There's spells in my deck somewhere. Finally found one. Found another one. Okay. Now they're dead. Took me a moment to recognize that, but we found it before it was too late. I actually didn't even need to tap the Soul Cauldron. Only improving as time goes on. The best time to learn is when you're winning the game anyway. When you make a mistake, completely unpunished, and you get to learn something for the rest of your life. Nuts. Bang. I hope they think for the rest of time. I hope they lose sleep tonight thinking about this Agatha Soul Cauldron they let resolve on turn 1. Sweet. Okay, playing against Delver. Goblin Crater Maker kills actual Delver. It can kill small Dragon's Rage Channelers. My opponent said in the chat, that's why I pay for internet. Great, I love that. Chalice of the Void is good in this matchup. The Caves of Chaos Adventure is not where I want to be. I might actually just no sideboard here. Unless I think a Soul Cauldron is better in the board where Karn can wish for it, that did just randomly be good last game. I'm not going to bring in Goblin Crater Makers. I'm just going to send it. 0 sideboard plan versus Delver. Perfectly constructed for the metagame. Okay, I can turn to a Karn. I don't even think that's good, but it's a thing I can do. Bauble. Oh, Karn. Karn is hungry for baubles. I do have to remain somewhat concerned about the aggressive deck with Wastelands and Meltdowns. They baubled themselves second main and then fetched that card away. Didn't like it after all. I think Ancient Tomb is the card I most want to draw right now. Though I would take any stable source of mana that I can work my way up to the Urza Saga for. The bridge, the Boros bridge, is actually a great draw here too. Basic Mountain. I'll take that all day. I'm just going to try to play a Saga game here, I think. And they haven't applied pressure in the first 2 turns of the game. I like that. Urza Saga. Play it out. And do I want a Ballista on 1? Into a Daze, into a whatever. I mean, Ballista in my graveyard doesn't hurt. I could have played Lotus Petal to play around Daze, but I think if they Daze this, that softens them up for the Karn. You can't name Karn with Cavern of Souls, unfortunately. And this is +1 artifact for Saga count, +1 artifact for Metalcraft. They do have the Wasteland, all good. Can I draw a Salvagers and win? Nope. Okay. It's fine. I'm going to attack with Ballista, play a Cavern. Cavern on human, and if I play Petal Opal, I can make Ballista a 2/2 at the cost of Lotus Petal, or I could get 3 for 1 off of Meltdown instead of 1 for 1. And I'm just going to hold here. Is my next Cavern going to be on KRAKEN? Gyruda awaits. Okay, Plateau means I can keep back the other Cavern. The possibilities that their hand could be right now is Meltdown and Counterspells, I think, and maybe Murktide Regent. And I'm not incentivized to shove any of my cards into any of their cards for that reason. I am going to put Gyruda in my hand. Because I can Cavern on KRAKEN, Opal Petal Blammo next turn, if I'm so inclined. Or I can just play my Cavern, start pumping Ballista on the slow. Lightning Bolt targeting my dome. Terrifying. This must be Murktide, right? Interesting. They just wanted some value out of their Mystic Sanctuary. Weird. I'm having a good time here. Okay, I'll draw for my turn. I think I want to send Gyruda. If I hit Salvagers, I just win. Petal, Opal, Cavern on KRAKEN. Hell yeah. This is how we ball. Alright, Cavern on KRAKEN, which hilariously mills the Lightning Bolt that they just put on top. Can we get there? What's going on? Predict? Oh, targeting Lightning Bolt. Okay, that makes sense. Using the Sanctuary as a build your own draw to makes perfect sense. That's way better than actually wanting Lightning Bolt. The plan fits now. Okay, hit a Ballista or a Crater Maker. I guess I want Crater Maker. That was kind of a whiff, but I do have a 6/6 in play now. And I'm still not going to play out this Lotus Petal. It still just gets swept up in a Meltdown, and I don't think that activating Crater Maker this turn is worth that. They dismissed my Gyruda. You want more? You haven't had enough Gyruda? Meltdown, sure. Hang you. I do need to draw a mana source. I have the Petal. I have the Cavern on KRAKEN. Oh, yeah. This might put them in a spot where they genuinely have to Force of Will a Lotus Petal. Bang. There it is. It's on the stack. Yeah, they had to force my Lotus Petal. Got 'em. Moral victory. Crater Maker, get in. And now that they spent their Force of Will, Karn. 2 cards in your hand. Is it another Force blue card? Not yet. What do we got here? I think I might just plus. Just try to keep Karn around for next turn. Make sure it doesn't get bolted. Bolting my Crater Maker. Okay. And they did not have a Murktide right away. I gotta be honest, I have never in my Magic career had a Lotus Petal forced on a turn and then slammed a 4-drop. Post Force of Will. There's not like a cheesy one in here. There's not a Liquimetal Coating. There's not like a little value buddy in here. This is really a combo deck. And I have no mana sources in exile to send Gyruda with. I don't really want Karn to get bolted. I could cast Lattice right now, but Karn is open to bolt, but he won't be next turn. Okay, I'm going to plus Karn on nothing, and then play this Ballista from my hand. Or I could engineer and bury a... Oh, I think I want to engineer and bury a Soul Cauldron. I think that's the line. Agatha's Soul Cauldron in the graveyard. Do I cast this Walking Ballista? Sure. Let's put some damage on the board. Brainstorm, good draw. Suddenly, they pretty clearly had nothing the last 2 turns, and Brainstorm could move it all around. Dragon's Rage Channeler, who is large and in charge. I drew Urza Saga. I could play Gyruda here. Or I could do something more normal with my cards and mana. I mean, getting the Lattice here doesn't even matter because DRC can fly. Saga. I'm going to send the big guy. I got win the game cards in my deck. Gyruda trigger. Wow, full whiff. Tough beats. Okay, I'm going to play Lion's Eye Diamond. And I'm going to bust it and then get the Ensnaring Bridge. Hopefully this is annoying enough for them that it'll create a problem while I get my combo set up underneath them. That just resolved without a fight. Predict. Targeting themselves with Dragon's Rage Channeler, they got the whole combo. Just predict, straight up draw 2. And it was even a shitty card. It was Daze. I guess Daze is pretty good against my Lattice. If I find that, I get to start doing stuff. They have Unholy Heat that can take out Karn. They did not shuffle their Ponder. Murktide Regent, just a big ol' idiot in play. They do benefit from a large blocker, though, because with Engineer, I can flip my Ensnaring Bridge out of play and just get in for a bunch. Pretty much at will. Okay, well, now I can play around Daze with Lattice, so I'm just gonna send that. Mycosynth Lattice is on the stack, and we win the game. Cool. I don't need to do anything yet. Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing they can do. That's how Lattice works. Cool, they took a draw step and tapped out. We got them with the combo, we got them with the lock. Deck's firing on all cylinders. Let's keep rolling. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. You can also find Jeremy co-hosting episodes 106 and 109 of the Tech Talk series with Keith Shaw on the Tech Talk YouTube channel. Head over to Tech Talk and don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube channel for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the play in round number 3 with a hand that, in Vintage, if this was Black Lotus, I win, but unfortunately, I'm going to mulligan this hand. It only has 1 functional mana source in it. This one also has only 1 functional mana source, but it does have Chalice on 1. If I Chalice and they Wasteland, then I'm in trouble. My opponent said they're a big fan, and don't worry, they're not ghosting me. Well, I pre-record my content, don't worry about ghosting me. One of the many perks of being on YouTube instead of Twitch. I think I have to mulligan this hand. It just doesn't really do anything. If Chalice isn't good in this matchup, then I lose. If Chalice is good in the matchup, but they also have Wasteland, I lose. If Chalice is good in the matchup and they don't have Wasteland and I don't draw a land in the first 1 or 2 draw steps here, I probably lose. And there's plenty of 5-card hands in this deck that can just send it. Okay, my 5, I'm going to keep it. I have to send Salvagers to the bottom and one of the LEDs. I think this is what... God, I wish this was Ancient Tomb, but it's not. This is a turn 2 Gyruda. I want to just go all in on that, which is not really a plan that this deck supports. Do I want to lose to every counterspell on Earth, including Daze? I don't think so. The alternative is I could just ignore Chalice. That's not part of the plan. Bottom an LED and a Chalice, and then I have Ingenious Smith into Salvagers with the LED ready. I think that's probably better. Out here living this 5-card life. I'd rather just have a proactive plan than try to construct theirs. I do love the Plateau plus Gyruda situation. Just red-white, and then my blue-black companion. Volcanic Island. All right, we've got some Delver in the chat. Glad I didn't try to send a turn 2 Gyruda. Unprotected. Little bum my Chalice is gone, though. All right, Mox Opal's a cool one. And because of the way my mana shook out, I do get to play around Daze. Smith's in there. I'll take a Soul Cauldron because I already have an Opal. And I am going to play this Opal because this triggers once per turn, and I would like to get some counters on it. Unfortunately, can't do anything with that floating mana because I don't have Metalcraft and can't achieve it. This is eventually the mana to cast Auriok Salvagers, though. If I play Soul Cauldron next turn and LED, that turns on Opal 2 turns out. Stuff's happening here. And Ingenious Smith gets to hold the fort against Dragon's Rage Channeler. The biggest booty you've ever seen. Oh. Well, that's interesting. I could use LED to pay for Daze. However, I get Shadow Realmed by Force. Yeah, I'm just going to take my time here. That resolved. That means that Salvagers doesn't even have to resolve next turn. I've done what I'm supposed to do, triggering that. I am not going to play my land because I would like to Salvagers next turn. Okay, the pieces are in place here. Delver didn't flip, but they missed a land drop last turn, so them drawing a land here might be more detrimental to me than them having this Delver available. And if they try to bolt my Smith, I can make her a 4/4 in response because they do have a Delver in their graveyard. Snow-covered island. Another Delver. And I would like to try to bait some interaction here. I am going to activate Cauldron on Delver. If I can get a 4/4 and it doesn't die, then okay, cool. Now I'm not worried about counter plus bolt on this turn. Lion's Eye Diamond has to come in first for Opal to make the mana. And now 1, 2, 3, Mountain, 4. I don't even mind if this gets forced because of Cauldron. I have a 5/5 who's largely removal proof against Is it Delver. And I can send a Gyruda this turn if I have infinite mana. Well, I'll pay for daze. And they're dazing it again. And Lion's Eye Diamond still works here. I'll sack it for white. I only need 2 in the pool for this. I didn't actually need to do any of this, but I figure keeping more shields up is better. They do still have a mana floating, which I don't really want to combo into. What does pre-combat versus post-combat Gyruda look like? There's not a haste creature in my deck that I care about. Oh, if I hit the... Yeah, okay, I do have to go first. Right, yeah, if I hit the homie, the Devourer, I would like that to happen before combat. And here's a spot where, like I said in the deck tech, the Gyruda actually does matter. This is not a meme. It's not just because we can. This is a real mana sink in these low resource salvager situations. And now it's just about calculating how much mana is the correct amount. I would like to be able to cast Gyruda, still do stuff afterwards, and still have the LED in play. That's what I want to be happening at the end of this loop. I can sack for blue this time. So I have 10 mana right now. I'd have 1 left post Gyruda. Having extra in the pool does matter in case you need to like regrow an artifact in response to regrowing an artifact. Okay. Gyruda. Cast it. Alright, can I hit a banger? Give me a Walking Ballista for the win. Goblin Engineer will do. Engineer. Entombs Ballista, and then we win. Alright. Would you like to concede, or do I have to show this to you? Hilariously, my Gyruda did give them Delirium. Oh, we see Orcish Bowmaster off the mill, though. Gyruda fishing for relevant information in a game that we're winning anyway. Okay, I put 21 mana into the pool, and they decided that's enough. I never quite know when opponents concede mid-combo after making me do some amount, if they like just figured out the line, or if they figured that's enough, or I don't know, whatever it is. I appreciate the concession. And like I said last round, I think that we're on the 0 sideboard plan versus traditional Delver decks here. None of these cards actually increase my matchup in any meaningful way. Perfect metagame choice. My hand in Game 2, on the draw of course, has a ton of mana, including multiple caverns. I am going to keep this. It needs a plan, but I kind of like just having my mana ready to go against Delver. Obviously, I'd feel better about this hand if there was a Salvagers and a LED in it. But I like the Rustveil Bridge a lot. It's no Wasteland, no Meltdown. Come at me. Unfortunately, they do appear to be coming at me with this very fast Dragon's Rage Chandler with 3 card types in the graveyard already, and none of them are the hard ones to get. Oh, was I supposed to Ancient Tomb Ballista there and try to pick this thing off before it's large? It would be nice to take some pressure off the board, but also any instant Delirium's it. But they didn't play any instant. It could be Daze or Bolt, which would mess me up, unfortunately. I could Cavern on Construct, but I really don't want to have to sack this thing. Do I just put Gyruda in my hand? I think I do. And I'll play out the Opal so I don't have to go to discard. It does hang it out there for a possible Meltdown. They'd have to be in the fucking Matrix, though, to melt down a Mox Opal. Just 1 for 1. Like, yeah, that's good enough. All right, Wasteland on my Tomb's pretty good. Chalice of the Void, you don't say. Let me put that on the stack for 1, and I am fine using Ancient Tomb for this. It is... I'd rather take 2 and maybe have this work than get it dazed. Wow, it's in there. What's in their hand? Oh, Meltdown. I've already answered that question for myself. All right, I might be turning on a Daze here, but I think that playing this Ballista is worth doing. Okay, that's in. That means I can go to their turn and wait for them to cast a spell, and then I can ping DRC in response to the Surveil. Yeah, this is definitely the Meltdown. Ping the Channeler. Ballista's dying anyway on this, and if they have another instant, I'll at least counter it on the way through. Yeah, that's fine. Just discard a Brainstorm to keep your creature. I mean, I think the play is correct. It is also just like a pretty good deal for me. A Lotus Petal, I think, is one of my better draws here. City of Traders is not. I'll play Plateau and pass here. I can't actually get this Gyruda down a turn faster with all these soul lands. Ugh. Wasteland is tough. Oh, but they didn't use it. Lotus Petal off the top? Chalice of the Void, okay. Chalice. And this is way too late, they're just going to kill me. I'm going to Cavern on Demon and try to draw out this Wasteland on something that is an Ancient Tomb. Because if they Wasteland an Ancient Tomb, I can't put Gyruda on this deck anyway. And if they Wasteland nothing, then this actually lets me cast the spell next turn. Volcanic Island. And wasted my Cavern on Demon. Yep. This gives me Lotus Petal as a live draw. Or Mox Opal. Lotus Petal, hello. Cavern on Demon. And I think I'm still dead, because I have to tap the Ancient Tomb. I don't think there is a savior coming from my deck here. Yeah, 2 Goblin Engineers, and I'm just dead on board. Alright. Too little too late there. Maybe I got too cute dancing around that DRC. Maybe I should have just sent on it at the first opportunity. It did deal basically all the damage that my opponent dealt me that game. Same deck, but now I'm on the play. Okay, this hand does accelerate Urza Saga. The Saga can tutor the LED. However, if my opponent just has Wasteland or Meltdown, I'm in trouble. I think I gotta do better than this. Is this better? This is a lot of 4-drops. It does have more stable mana. Is that even true? It does have the Karn Ensnaring Bridge inevitability. I think I want to do better. A 5-card hand, still pretty mid, but I am going to stop here, at least. And maybe Wasteland, it just sucks ass for this deck, and you gotta accept that as truth when you register the deck. Okay, here we go. If they Wasteland this, I will be in pain. Volcanic Island, what a relief. Just a Delver. And now I have some options. I can Crater Maker plus zap the Delver. I can Ballista and then zap the Delver. I could Engineer and try to get something going. I think I like the Ballista best. Because Crater Maker is bigger if we get into a scrappy creature fight of any kind. Oof. And it's not susceptible to Null Rod or Meltdown, which was also on my mind. Okay, Engineer, and I can just destroy the Null Rod and get back to work here. I think I want to play Engineer and save the fact that I can kill Null Rod for later. I would like to entomb, what? Probably a Soul Cauldron? Or do I just shove the Devourer in there, so when I draw Soul Cauldron I can get him? I don't actually have artifacts to sacrifice and move in and out of play. Yeah, I'm just going to dump a Devourer. And I'm not going to play this Cavern, because it would eat my City of Traders, my poor sweet city. Ponder. So the dream scenario is that I find a Soul Cauldron, they let it resolve because of Null Rod, and then I can surprise kill the Null Rod with Crater Maker. Oh no. Oh no, they even made the right decision. Ugh. Yo dog, I heard you didn't like permanence. Alright, this is a Human Artificer and a Goblin Warrior. I think I have to Cavern on Human and just try to do something with this Ingenious Smith. Found a Soul Cauldron, which, thousands of years away from casting. Though, this is the game plan that I just described, where one of the very few answers to Null Rod is actually in my hand. If I can find mana to deploy it, I might be able to steal a cheese victory. Urza Saga is excellent. So that lets me play this Soul Cauldron, which they probably won't fight over because of Null Rod. Wow, slammed a Force of Negation. Okay. They either forgot they have Null Rod or they have a lot of respect for that card. Either one is a reasonable take. They did go to 0 cards in hand to do that, and City of Traders. You don't say. Okay, City of Traders activates the Urza Saga. Is there any universe where it race here, or do I just need to shove Karn into play? I think I'm going to start cracking back a little bit. Do this in the main, so my girl triggers. I don't have red mana for this Crater Maker, unfortunately. And Tutoring will not help me get it because that's how Null Rod works. Walking Ballista, huh? What do you do? What happens if I cast Karn here? I can cast Karn, use this turn to wish for Ensnaring Bridge, and then next turn to cast it. Alright, I'm not making more constructs here. I will grab this Lion's Eye Diamond, because it is a bad draw later. And the more powerful thing I can do if I clear the Null Rod. Sets up the most stuff. Oh no, they have a hardcast Daze. Ugh, I said. Okay. I could have attacked for 6 here. They're still winning the race, though. Yeah, I don't think I have an out anymore. They did correctly respect the things that they needed to respect correctly. 7, 8. Wait, were they dead if I made a construct? Was I winning the race, or did I need to draw an artifact along the way? I've lost this game. I'm just trying to think. So, last turn, if I make a construct, Smith is 3/3, construct is 3/3. I deal 6 to them. They would be at 12. And then right now I would have 4, 8, 9 till I'm at 12, possibly 14 with the Ballista. Yeah, I might have just fucked up the race here. Okay, GG. Yeah, maybe I just counted wrong or bet on the wrong thing mattering. Okay, on to the next round. Good match. If you're looking to run a CEDH or 1v1 tournament, Eminence Gaming has your back with Command Tower. With Command Tower's intuitive tournament manager dashboard, you can handle decklist submission and player management with just a few clicks. Players just need to scan the event's QR code for access to the full tournament bracket, including seamless pairings and real-time standing updates. Take the guesswork out of tournament organizing. Try Command Tower for your next event. I'm on the play in round 4. I have a Smith into a Karn. I'm going to keep this. I kind of like the chugga slow but steady nature of this hand. I understand this deck can be explosive, but also I could just chill instead. And I am going to play the Cavern on Human, because I want to make them have Wasteland interact with me. And if they Wasteland this, then the Saga gets better. Another Volcanic Island strategy. Hell yeah, 3rd Delver in a row. It's been a while since we had a league like this. Urza's Saga. I could play the Ancient Doom here and play around Daze next turn with Karn, but I think I kept the hand on the strength of the slow and steady chugga. Please Daze this. Oh, they let it resolve. They know how this works. Lion's Eye Diamond to my hand. I don't need that Rustveil Bridge, and I would like to get a trigger off Ingenious Smith. So if they Daze this, I don't even care. That's fine. Take it. Set yourself back a land. They didn't fall for that either. Next, we'll see an end step bobble myself, and we did. They have bobbled themselves, and now they get basically 2 looks at Delver. And they sacked the Delver Eel first, so they did see an instant or sorcery there, and it's Unholy Heat, which does kill my Ingenious Smith. All my powerful planning. Oh, a Rug, that's fun. Okay, I mean, if we're going to play against Delver 3 times in a league, is it Grixis Rug? Just ding ding ding, give me a little bit of everything. I like that a lot more. If they let me get to my land drop here, though, with this Unholy Heat, they're going to have a bad time. Alright. I'm going to attack, and then just pass the turn. I hope they Unholy Heat this. That would be so sick. Nope. Okay. Just going to hold my horses. It is more important to me to counter this Unholy Heat than it is for me to push 1 extra damage. And I'll activate this now, get my Ingenious Smith out of Unholy Heat range. They flipped Force of Will Brainstorm off this end of turn Seek the Beast. They attack for 3. There's the Exiled Brainstorm. 2nd Volcanic Island. Unholy Heat does kill the Construct token. All good. Soul Cauldron. I like that. I'm just going to keep pushing with my objects that I have, though. You get Mox Opal here. And I'm going to play Urza's Saga. I can run this Ingenious Smith into Daze. I could have played Ancient Doom to avoid all of it. I'm just going to attack for 4. See if they want to do something about that first. And I guess if they Daze here, it's a Daze they don't have on the Karn turn. And they have this Questing Druid in exile. They do have stuff that they'd like to spend mana on. If they're setting themselves back lands, yeah. Not going to pay for this. with my Lion's Eye Diamond. Not a complete savage. Lightning Bolt, okay. All of this is an exercise to soften them up to the point where I can win all at once. Kind of wish there was a Shadow Spear in this deck. It would have been good in like all of these Delver matches. Maybe in the sideboard if it's too... Oh no, I'm a Gyruda deck. I don't get to play that. Never mind. I take it all back. There's a reason it's not in the deck. Chalice of the Void on 1 is pretty sweet. I'm going to run out the City of Traders. I am just a little worried about my life total. Chalice for 1. Let's see if this shakes anything loose from my opponent. Okay, we're in there. And guess I just attack for 5. They took their beats on that. And 1, 2, 1. I'm 1 short of activating the Saga and playing a spell. So I will just pass. Let's Saga stay Sagaing. Seek the Beast. Flipped a second Questing Druid and a Ponder that's locked under the Chalice. The Questing Druids do give the 1-drop some extra text. If they get a Druid down, it does add power and toughness to the board, even if the spell doesn't resolve. And being able to activate Saga on their turn is cool, because that's an extra +1 on my Ingenious Smith. Oh, they didn't Seek the Beast, they didn't Questing Druid, they left all this mana up. That's kind of scary. What are they doing with all that? Just going to keep pummeling power and toughness onto the board, make them do something. Because I'm currently winning. Do I want a Petal or a second LED? I'll take a Petal and fire another City of Traders in. Play this Soul Cauldron I've been sitting on forever. What do they have? Is it like Brazen Borrower plus Unholy Heat? Just trying to figure out. Well, we're about to find out because I'm attacking for lethal. Whatever it is you have, it's time to show it to me. Brazen Borrower confirmed. And they go to 2 off the beats. It could have been 1, but I think holding up this Soul Cauldron is reasonable to keep doing. And then if I play Karn here, it's straight into Daze. I'm not really interested in. I'll grab the Gyruda. They have to do a lot here to turn it around and win on me. Shoving Brainstorm into Chalice. That indicates Murktide to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Murktide would be 8/8. I'm going to exile this Unholy Heat before Murktide gets any bigger. Bobble, okay. Maybe without my Karn. I have 2 lethal threats. Even if they do play Murktide here, they can't attack with Delver because they need that back to block. They're bobbling me. I feel like a long-term enfranchised Legacy player would know exactly what I'm up to with the LEDs, but I haven't actually shown them a Bomber or a Ballista yet. Okay, let's find out. It is a Questing Druid that is much smaller than Murktide Regent, dazing their own creature. What's the plan here? Are we trying to get Delirium? Do something with that? Oh, they just need another spell in the graveyard to be bigger than my creatures with Murktide? Dude, my Soul Cauldron still makes Smith bigger. But they do have a lethal threat now. If I draw any artifact, I win. Okay, that counts. 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. Yep, alright. Rustveil Bridge. Ding. Kills my City of Traders. Which I totally remembered on purpose. I was making the play anyway, it's fine. Unfortunate to reveal Karn in a game that I'm already crushing this hard. There is a Ballista in the sideboard. I should just get another LED. Yeah, I just need my creatures to be big enough to win the combat with no questions asked. And that is where we are now. They don't even get a trade. They have to chump block both of these. Exile Questing Druid from their graveyard. Make my construct bigger. Their shit is dead. And pass the turn. There's another Questing Druid hanging out in that exile zone as a blocker. There it is. You'll need more than that, though. And Delver gets countered. And concede. Cool. Okay. Once again, are we in the no sideboard zone? Crater Maker does line up against Questing Druid reasonably well, because it always arrives as a 1/1 for some amount of time. But I don't think I care about that. That's such a late game play that if the game is going that long, I'm going to be doing something else with my energy. Submit the deck. New BoshNRoll video record for fewest times I actually used my sideboard. Normally I can't wait to get to the sideboard and just make matchups better, but this matchup only gets worse. No colored mana here, and I don't trust a Saga start against the Wasteland strategy. This is the same shit, but worse. This is actually a turn 2 Gyruda, if I want to just heckin' send it. Do we want to do that at least once in this league? God, that's so bad. I actually do want to keep this, though. Like, I understand this is risky and there are better hands, but I have Salvagers plus LED, and I have Crater Maker that can remove a Null Rod. And if I just get the Spider Sense, I can send Gyruda on turn 2. Okay, that Opal actually rules. LED, LED, Opal. They are pausing on all of these. I don't think I'm going to be sending a turn 2 Gyruda. Unless they force this. If they force this or the Crater Maker, I have done a pretty good job suddenly being able to force check my opponent. Crater Maker, and I can kill the DRC immediately. 2 damage. Bang. Take that pressure off. And then I can try to go off with Salvagers next turn. Brainstorm from the opponent. Misty Rainforest is not a wasteland, last I checked. Soul Cauldron. Nice. Alright. Force check. Force check passed. However, I do have Soul Cauldron and Gyruda available to keep firing. If this Soul Cauldron resolves, then any creature for the rest of the game, including Gyruda, could be in Auriok Salvagers. Ponder. If they melt down me right now, I'm fucked. Ponder did not shuffle, and they just have some lands passing. Okay. Let's see how they feel about Soul Cauldron. Oh, Karn is nice. Dang it, Karn. Why'd you show up right now? I had a different plan lined up. Alright, I'm just sending the Karn. They can't daze it here. Just keep on force checking until it eventually works. Force pitching Murktide. Okay. Another one down. I'm still in some trouble to a meltdown, but if they just like play some creature here, I don't even care. Did not shuffle. Terrifying. Please slam a Murktide and then die. Oh no! Ah, shit. This fucking card. Well, never mind. That was not the 2-drop I was hoping for. I'm actually prepared to just concede the game. We got a slippery one. Okay, now that I know that there are Collector Oofs in the deck, and I am on the play, Chalice is solid. I could go down a Soul Cauldron because it is soft to the Oof while I bring in Answers to Oof to replace it. I'm usually pretty into shaving a Mox Opal from decks that have them, but this deck's already playing 2, just really conservatively built. I think I'm actually going to shave an LED, because that's such a bad draw if you're not going off, and this deck makes it hard to go off. Ugh. This hand does not do enough. Well, again, this hand does enough. I'll keep it. And put the mountain to the bottom. I'm just going to plateau pass here and take my time, set up a Crater Maker. Saga. I could play out all my artifacts and play around Daze that way, or I could just play Petal. Yeah, I'm not super in the business of getting obliterated by Meltdown. Not yet. Maybe later. Okay, that resolved. Wasteland, pretty good. Went after the correct target. Cavern, interesting. Okay, if I attack with Crater Maker, I could put Gyruda in my hand here, but I actually need the LED to cast it. So I'd have 3, 4, 5, 6 next turn. Yeah, if I use Petal to put Gyruda in my hand, I think this is worth the squeeze here. Wait, I literally just said I need LED to cast this. My brain has malfunctioned. And now I have this Gyruda in my hand that I can't use. I had to do that all in one turn. God damn it, Brian. What are you doing? I guess in the 9th consecutive game against Delver with this deck, I've finally lost my mind. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I would have needed 1 more mana. Now I gotta figure this out the hard way. I am gonna Cavern on Demon. I'll just let you know it's there. You're in check. Not that Gyruda resolving actually even guarantees a win in this deck. We're not the old school Gyruda deck. What a time that was when you could just, in the old companion rules, when you could just have 2 LEDs in your opening hand and put Gyruda on the stack. That was the shit. Force pitching Daze, okay. I suspect that they don't even care that much about the Agatha Soul Cauldron. I think they care a lot about the half of an unlicensed hearse. And they kept their card on top. I wonder if it's a wasteland. Oh, that was weird. They kept their spell on top and then shuffled it away before they drew. Which one is it? Maybe it's a card that they wanted in their deck for later but don't need right now, like Meltdown? but you would just draw that and bank it, even if you're not slamming it right away. I'm so ashamed of this Gyruda in my hand right now, next to the LED. Just doesn't make any damn sense. Chalice of the Void. Can we get a win here? Can we get something going? Okay, something's going. That is my third artifact to turn on Mox Opal. Now a soul land off the top actually does cast Gyruda, a city or a tomb, which would be kind of nuts here. Uh-oh, they have a spell. I hate spells. Suddenly green mana. It's just Murktide Regent. It's not oof, don't worry. Thanks to Rustveil Bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now any land off the top, cast Gyruda next turn. Taking 6. I can do that 2 more times this game, or 1 more time before I'm dead. Untap mana source, so yeah. I'm going to start with the Opal. If they're going to force something, it has to be this. Saga. It's demon time. This might give them Delirium, which sucks every ass. But I do have the LED if I hit a Salvagers. Salvagers. Petty Theft. Targeting Gyruda. Okay, that doesn't actually matter. If I hit here, they're going to wish they held on to that. All right, come on, Trigger, pay me out. Salvagers and Ballista all in the pile. The Gyruda actually delivered a win. I guess if their last card is a counterspell, they could still get me here. But it does not appear to be. The Gyruda, I put it in my hand at the wrong time, but it is going to deliver for me. And my opponent, unfortunately, misunderstood what the Gyruda was doing. If I was the clone deck, then that was the right time to do that, but that's not what I'm doing here. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say the Gyruda clone deck, I have certainly played that on the channel a couple years ago when it was a thing you could do. I did it much more recently in Pioneer, where it was actually pretty awesome. They said in the chat, I'm not smart enough to figure this one out. And I said, I'm going to get back Ballista once I have enough mana. And we got the GGs. They thought that Salvagers reanimated the artifact, but it actually puts it in your hand. And once I explained that missing gap, they were ready to concede. That was a good match. That Collector Roof fucked me right up. And I messed up on the Gyruda timing, but it still ended up being the card that won the game. Not there for flavor. Let's go to the final round. The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is available exclusively through Coalesce Apparel. This Magic player-owned business is a staple of our community. They keep this channel on the air, and it's my pleasure to partner with them for this product. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market. They have awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll to get 10% off your order, only at coalesceapparel.shop. I'm on the draw in the final round. Positive Records locked, playing for the Bread and Butter 4-1. I'll keep this hand. It's a little slow and steady, but you know I like those. Cavern of Souls, naming what? Goblin. Oh my god. Oh, don't mind if I do get goblined. Oh, it's a Rabble Master. Okay. You know, as far as the Mind Goblin conversation goes, that was not the worst one. This double Chalice hand looks like straight up butt stains at this point, though. I'm going to have to go over the top and hope that I can just combo them out before this turn 1 Rabble Master gets it done. Oh, Jesus. 3 mana on turn 1 and on turn 2. And it's this freaking guy. Okay. Pretty sure we are dead. Is it possible to win from here? Ugh. Uncounterable 3-drop on turn 1, uncounterable 3-drop on turn 2. All of them deal a shitload of damage. Good luck, idiot. I'm the idiot, by the way. Okay, Mox Opal does what? It is on. I am dead on board. Is there anything I can do here that both is useful and does not reveal what I'm up to? I don't believe so. Okay, I'm out of here. That was a bloodbath. Once again, I am reaching to Goblin Crater Maker for salvation. Chalice of the Void is just a non-player in this matchup. I could Chalice on 0. They probably have some Chromoxes and stuff, but Chalice on 0 stuffs my combo, so actually not an option. I can't possibly bring in Caves of Chaos Adventure against this opponent. I'm disappointed this never happened in the league because it's such a cool juke. But it's not going to happen this league. I'm not going to start now. I could just add a Ballista and And Karn is getting awfully watered down if I bring in much more than that. But what am I supposed to do here? You can't register a 59 card deck. Those are against the rules. I guess I just add a Lion's Eye Diamond and try to speed up the main deck. Although it might be faster and more redundant to have Karn be able to reach for that. But I mean, this is what I've got here. The Chalices have to come out. And the Caves of Chaos Adventurers can't come in. We're just here to pod race. This hand plays Lion's Eye Diamond and dies. This is a turn 3. Nope, way too slow. Not going to do it. This hand does interact. The Goblin Crater Maker is not nothing. I will keep this, and I think I bought him an Ingenious Smith because the Engineer is a tutor. The Crater Maker is interaction. The Smith is card advantage and a body. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I might just get run over again. This deck is not really constructed to absorb beats from a deck like this one. Oh, good. They have the Namesticker Goblin this time. The turn before I can deal with it. Only got 4. That's lucky. Oh, unlucky. Yeah, this fucking guy. This guy dies to Crater Maker, though. In for 2. Do you want to whip this for 5? Nope, keeping the Goblin back. Fair enough. If I play the City of Traders, I can remove the Bombardier, and I think that is required here for me to even pretend to be playing this game. It sucks that I'm going to lose a land next turn, but I can Ingenious Smith plus Goblin Engineer. Cavern on Goblin. Ooh, no plays first main. That's lucky. We don't have to get away with that very often. Second main Goblin spell. It's a Matron. What are we looking for here? Looking for a reload, or are we loaded up and ready to pop? Trash Master. Wait, my deck's built around artifacts. Did they know that? How could they know that? I am, of course, being facetious. Obviously, this is what my deck does. How can I win? This Trash Master is a huge problem. Can I just make a giant goblin right now and have that goblin be bigger than their stuff for the rest of the game? I don't think that's actually reasonable. I'm going to play Smith. Found a Soul Cauldron. Well, having 2 of those is kind of sick. But it sucks that it's face up now and they know about it. But they don't know about the other one. Soul Cauldron. So this becomes a 2-2. Then I can exile and make a 3-3. And then if they Trash Master, I already have a big creature in here. And Boast is an activated ability. Yeah, I guess I just need them to get too rowdy. But, I mean, every goblin in play is a removal spell now. Just gotta hope that I'm bigger than them and they have to keep sacking goblins. And Urza Saga can take over. Ooh, Pyrokinesis. Pitching Broadside Bombardiers. Alright, now they just don't even care. And there's the mana for Trash Master, who is both a Lord and a hard lock against my deck. They will have to respect the Goblin Engineer, though. They'll have to sack at least 1 goblin to deal with this. Okay, they did it immediately. Fair enough. Ooh, Smith. Do I think Smith is better than Engineer? I mean, she can get large enough to tangle. Alright, I'm playing Saga and then casting Smith off of the Saga. Walking Ballista, okay. I mean, not a great answer, but is an answer. Literally has text, which is more than some of the other cards in my deck right now. Down to 2 cards in their hand. Unfortunately, if they do anything, I'm in trouble. I need both of those to be blanks right now. Just 2 more Ancient Tombs. Actually, how I win this game is if I draw an untapped mana source here, and I'm able to wiggle my Cauldron in under their attacks. Or, alright, let's see. Untapped mana source? Should have been more specific. Okay. Does Mox Opal do it? I think the answer is no. If I play Opal now, I mean, that's happening. And my 2 blockers here are not artifacts if I play Goblin Engineer. If I play Engineer and entomb a Devourer, I have to chump. Where if I pass and make Urza Saga blocker, that pumps Ingenious Smith, and she's big enough to get a real trade, and they'd have to sack a goblin to remove it. And if they just have a goblin in their hand, they can beat me in combat here. I am once again crossing my fingers and hoping that they just don't have anything. Just attack with your creatures. Take no game actions. Attack with your creatures. All of them. No, don't do stuff. 4-drop. This is probably a ringleader, which is not only a goblin, but a haste goblin. Oh, it's Muxus. It's so much worse. Okay, shit. Well, I don't have a containment priest in my hand. Maybe whiff? They hit a rabble master. They actually did almost whiff. They literally hit one goblin. Oh, but this means that Trash Master has to attack. I might have just squeezed out of this. Interesting. Interesting. They might have messed themselves up here. Okay, so I make a construct who is a 2/2, which makes my smith a 3/3, which eats the Trash Master, block, and block. Do I just win now? Is this real life? Oh no, I need 6 mana because I never was able to commit the Cauldron. Okay, they sacked their token to destroy my opal, correctly identifying that I'm going to need mana to play this game. However, this is the closest to hope I've ever had. Yeah, that was actually worse than a whiff on that Muxus. And then they sacked the Trash Master to kill my 1/1 rather than my 3/3. Weird. I think that was probably incorrect. Engineer, okay. I don't think I can win right now. How can I win next turn? Oh wait, if I float... Yeah, I can... If I float, get opal, that's 1. If I play Ballista and Cauldron, I do have the thing on, but that's not enough. Do I have to get Lotus Petal here and just make the biggest creature imaginable? I think so. Okay. Lotus Petal. This does give me 4 mana. Petal. Smith gets bigger. Engineer. Entomb the Devourer. Soul Cauldron. Immediately devour the Devourer. Oh wait, I could just play Ballista. Can I win right now? If I play Ballista, if I attack with Smith and they don't block, they're dead. Okay, I'm going to attack with Smith and just see what level they're on here. Because this is at worst a removal spell. At best, they lose. Okay, and they just blocked with their 2/2, which means I don't have to commit to the big O line. I am going to commit to the big O line, though. And put the counter on Goblin Engineer. Okay, they need a multiple creatures or a large haste creature to win here. Oh shit, 6 mana. 2 Muxus are on the bottom of the deck, though. If your last card in hand is still Muxus, I'm going to lose my mind. Matron. I mean, that can be what you need it to be. Do you have Artifact Destruction at 3? Oh, yeah, I lose. Son of a biscuit! That came from a 2-card hand. If I had just not activated Devourer and put Ballista in my graveyard, I could have survived this. Yeah, I hate that for me. Yeah, I mean, this came from a 1-card hand, so they either drew the Matron or the double land here. And yeah, alright, you got me. Do I stabilize there if I just throw Ballista in the graveyard and pass? Because I can deal 3 to something, and then I still have to block. Yeah, I think if I just throw Ballista in the graveyard. Ah, okay. Fine. I'm not going to lose sleep over that, but it was avoidable. This deck is a lot of fun. I am obviously concerned, as I am with any deck like this, about how tough Wasteland can be. I am concerned about decks that just shit over the top of you, which is some amount of the format. And if Chalice of the Void doesn't line up against them, I'm talking about Initiative, that Goblin deck we just played, Red Prison. Chalice is your interaction in this deck, and your backup interaction is Goblin Crater Maker. And you can't even put some Swords of Plowshares and Shadow Spears in your sideboard to shore up creature matchups because we're a Gyruda deck, and Gyruda actually does matter. You could probably just play a non-Gyruda build of this, but that's no fun. I don't know. Also, it was my first round with this deck ever, and maybe I missed some lines or some cool Soul Cauldron tricks, or just misunderstood a matchup. I'm willing to blame all that. Maybe I was keeping hands I shouldn't. All those things are completely live, but we still ended up with a positive record, playing against Delver 3 times, beating him twice. I'll take that. I do wish Liquid Metal Coating was in the sideboard. I wish we just had something medium to do with Karn. Obviously, this deck is built like a combo deck, and the cards that are in the sideboard are 3 combo pieces and 1 way to stall out attackers. But we did end up in the spot where I shoved Karn and didn't really have anything good to do with it, where liquid metal coating is exactly what you want, and it doesn't break the Gyruda rules, so I would explore making room for that. Maybe we don't need 4 Crater Makers, maybe we don't need 4 Caves of Chaos Adventure. That's my only feedback to the deck. Otherwise, this was a delight. Agatha's Soul Cauldron continues melting my brain every time I play with it. Just so crazy what this card does. Matt, thank you for asking me to play this. KRAKEN, whoever you are, thank you for putting it out into the world. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon and the sponsors, and I'll see you next time.